Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my Robinhood portfolio. Today I thought I'd do another update video updating you guys on what's in the portfolio. Typically I like to do one of these per month, updating you guys on all of my positions, what stocks I hold, how many shares, as well as the equity value. As you guys know, I have my portfolio divided up into market sector, and I like to go through highlighting each market sector and any big changes I've made in the portfolio, either things I have added to the portfolio or big sell-offs that I have made, or maybe some day and swing trades I have been doing over the past week or so. So having said all that, let's jump into the portfolio here. On top here, my first stocks are my high dividend yielding ETFs. First, DVY here, I hold one share, $92.79. SCHD, one share, $45.95. SDY, one share, $89.76. SPHD, one of my favorite high yielding dividend ETFs that pays out a monthly dividend, one share, $40.41. I've been doing some dividend capture with this particular stock, but don't currently have a huge holding. And VYM, another great high yield dividend fund from Vanguard, one share, $79.40. Next, I have my healthcare stocks. First, pharmaceutical stocks, ABBV, AbbVie there, 31 shares, $22.15. LLY, Eli Lilly and Company, 5 shares, $4.05. Pfizer, one of my favorite stocks in the portfolio, not only dividend stocks, but stocks overall, 120 shares, $39.93. Portola Pharmaceuticals, you guys have known about this for quite some time. I highlight this on a regular basis. PTLA, 462 shares, $27,512. And it's been trailing down here a bit over the past week or so, down 2.9%. But over the last month, doing very, very well. Up 1.64%. Last 3 months, 41.65%. So very, very happy with that, even though it's been trending down here over the last week or so. Next, I have some healthcare services companies. ABT, Abbott Laboratories, 46 shares, $22.48. CAH, Cardinal Health, 6 shares, $4.16. And rounding out my healthcare stocks, J&J, Johnson & Johnson, 6 shares, $7.93. Next, I have my industrials, first with aerospace. BA, Boeing, 1 share, $239. LMT, Lockheed Martin, 1 share at $300 for equity value. I have some conglomerates here. GE, I think a very good contrarian investment right now. A little bit risky, but it could have very good return over the next couple of years or so. 8 shares, $204.40. I think I'm going to be averaging down this a bit if it continues to drop here. 3M, MMM, 2 shares, $412. Next, I have one machinery company, ITW, Illinois Toolworks, 1 share, $141. One supply company, whoops, it kind of got out of order here. One supply company, International Paper, IP, 2 shares, $108. Have a couple of railroad companies here, CNI, Canadian National Railroad, 1 share, $79.94. And UNP, Union Pacific, 1 share, $103.06. I next have one chemical company, Dow Chemical, DOW, 7 shares, $443. Next, I have my consumer discretionary. First, starting with automotive companies here. Ford, one of my largest holdings, actually is my largest holding by quite a large margin. I've been averaging down on this one, 4,026 shares, 43,802. I'm doing some day and swing trades with this. As I get out of some of these swing trades, I'm going to be holding this as cash, as I talked about in my last video, anticipating a market correction within the next 3 months or so. I'm not going to hold a lot in cash, maybe 10 to 15% of my overall portfolio, but I do think it is worthwhile hedging a bit in cash as the stock market has been hitting all-time highs over the past week or so. I have one stock of GM here, $35.21. Next, I have one electronics company here, one electronics company here, GRMN, 2 shares, $103. One general merchandise company here, TGT Target, 1 share, $58.60. Some of these shares have gotten out of order for some reason here. Restaurant companies, McDonald's, MCD, 1 share, $154. Yum Brands is a conglomerate with Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut. I have 1 share of that, $74.30. And then also the offshoot company in China, Yum Brands China, YUMC, 1 share, $37.13. One textile company here, VF Corp, VFC, 10 shares, $626. And then that sort of rounds out the consumer discretionary consumer staples here. Agriculture, ADM, Archer Daniels Midland, 2 shares, $84.48. Foodstuffs, one company here, Cisco, SYY, 1 share, $52.08. Household products, Colgate CL, 8 shares, 572. Kimberly-Clark, KMB, 2 shares, 242. Packaged Goods, Hershey, HSY, 2 shares, 210. Kraft Foods, KHC, 6 shares, 516. I've added a few stocks to this particular holding here. Procter & Gamble for personal goods here. PG, 6 shares, 548. Some beverage companies here. BUD, Anheuser-Busch, 1 share, 118. Coca-Cola, KO, 3 shares, 136. PepsiCo, PEP, 4 shares, 465. Now I have some financials. BOFI did a very large swing trade on this one, made about $180 or so for that swing trade. Very good company. Doesn't have a good dividend, though. The dividend is essentially zero. But the PE ratio is okay. It's a smaller company that I think has some good growth potential overall. If this does cheapen up here a bit, less than $25, I'm going to jump back into the stock. It's either a longer-term hold or a swing trade. Currently have 11 shares, 305. Huntington Bank shares, 4 shares, 53.20. 1 share of Morgan Stanley, or 2 shares of Morgan Stanley. I added 1 share, 95.96. And Wells Fargo and Company, WFC, 1 share, 52.65. I have 1 insurance company, ORI, Old Republic, 22 shares, 427. Under that, I have some information technology stocks. I think these may be oversold at the moment. Very risky. I'm not going to be adding to this particular market segment. IBM, 1 share, 142. AAPL Apple, 3 shares, 478. AMD, 3 shares, 39.09. Intel, INTC, 13 shares, 472. I've added a few stocks to that. May have been a mistake. Microsoft, MSFT, 1 share, 72.61. Have some telecoms. Added a lot to telecoms here. I think I made a purchase of $3,000 or $4,000. Yeah, $3,600 there. At $35.99. It's currently at $38.27. Thinking about maybe doing a swing trade, but holding that longer term. It's got a great dividend yield to it, and I think over the long term, this is going to be a very, very good play. But you can see here, AT&T, 145, 55.49. Small holding in Verizon here, VZ, 3 shares, 145. One energy company, ExxonMobil, XOM, 11 shares, 879. Utilities, CNP, Centerpoint Energy, 4 shares, 116. Consolidated Edison, ED, 5 shares, 414. And SO Southern, 3 shares, 146. I have some real estate investment trusts I've been averaging down as well. I like real estate investment trusts, although I think they will probably trend down over the next year or so. APLE, Apple Hospitality REIT, 120 shares, 21.49. Federal Realty Investment Trust, FRT, 4 shares, 530. And they recently raised their dividend. It's not that great, 2.702, but I think there was an article about Federal Realty becoming the newest dividend king. There you go. So very, very long track record of having a dividend as well as increasing its dividend payment. Realty Income Delaware, another great dividend stock, 12 shares, 687. And then Stag Incorporated, STAG, 1 share, 26.65. I have some closed-end funds, business development companies as well. GOF, Guggenheim, 4 shares, 85. PCM Fund, 2 shares, 23.16. PSEC, PSEC, 31 shares, 251. PTY, Pimco Corp, an Income Opportunity Fund, 1 share, 17.17. I did a nice little dividend ETF with regards to the business development companies and closed-end funds, YYY, Yield Shares High Income ETF. Recent addition to the portfolio based on a viewer suggestion. May put a little bit more money into this, but I'm going to be holding this until the market corrects, and if it does correct, I'm going to be putting in probably $1,000 into this particular fund, just for a little bit of fun with some high-income business development and closed-end fund ETF. And then I have one bond fund here, BHK, BlackRock Core Bond Trust, 11408. And then some penny stocks here. I don't have large holdings here. DCTH, 1 share, BAC plus B, 1 share, MARA, 1 share, OPXAWR, 1 share, and SDR, 9 shares, 1332. So that is the portfolio, all of my stocks. So I hope you guys followed all that. I went through that fairly quickly just so it's not so long of a video. But that's the current holdings here. And again, I'll be putting out one of these videos probably monthly just to update you guys on the portfolio and what I'm doing with the portfolio. So let me know what you guys are doing with your portfolios. And kind of with that, I'll end the video. As always, if you guys enjoy my videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And until next video, we'll see you then.